Blog Talk Radio.
Here at ACO Radio, American Communications Online, or any affiliated stations or websites are not responsible for what guest hosts or call-ins may say. All programming is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only.
Hello, world. This is TJ Morris, and you are listening to American Communications Online. And we are bringing both TJ Morris ET radio shows and Aquarian radio shows together with my BFF, Janet Kira Lessin of Maui, Hawaii. And today is Talk Shows Live interviews of Ascension Age Ace Guides Online. Now, I am a publisher of books, especially dealing with the Ascension Age, which is the age of now, I guess one might say, working with our higher source, our that which we call the A field, Akashic Records. And we do psychic readings here on Thursdays if you'd like to join me and Suzanne. Now, Karen is one of the she's with me on Best Psychic Directory. A lot of us are in a group of people that find each other and assist each other in prayer, meditation, readings, hypnotherapy, energy readings. And Janet Kira Lessin has counseling of the Tantra School with her husband, Dr. Alexander Sasha Lessin in Hawaii. And she, on Friday, is helping me with bringing together informational type radio shows and blogs. And she lives in Maui, Hawaii. And she met me over there when I was doing psychic fairs and the Spiritual World Network, and we started blending together sort of integrative medicine with psychologists and people that helped other people in motivational speaking and support. And we had groups, and we've been doing that pretty much no matter what as a hobby since that time. I started at 84. And she came over and met me in 94. It was either 93. I think she came in 93. But she's bringing on Karen Gresham Bucket. Karen Gresham Nickel. She is a clinical hypnotherapist. She does energy readings. And she's been working as a researcher for author David St. Clair. And their work together brought them throughout the world, including Brazil, the United Kingdom, the United States, Mexico, and many other parts of the world, where they presented workshops and private consultations. So it was in Rio that Karen undertook a project for intensive personal spiritual discovery and focused on indigenous Brazilian practices along with the exploration of paranormal phenomena. And all you guys that follow us, Theresa and Janet, working together, you know we love the paranormal and we love phenomena, so we're considered phenomenologists. Now, during the mid-'80s, Karen operated her private practice in the Parioli residential section of Rome. I hope I said that right. In Italy. Wow. So over the past 35 years, this beautiful woman in spirit, Karen's worked as a transformational teacher helping others with energy readings in clinical hypnotherapy for individuals and entrepreneurs and helping create a better culture with mediumship readings. And she loves people. And she's also helped a lot of people that have lost loved ones. So she's very empathic and very sweet and spiritual, kind soul. And she's entered a lifetime with a gift of insight. So she is a clinical hypnotherapist and intuitive medium, a licensed educator in the state of Texas. So her special is helping individuals, but she also helps them remove hidden blocks that are preventing them from achieving their own personal goals. And she's going to be with us now. And as I said, Janet Kira Lessin, Aquarian Radio, and I syndicate together. And I am using my home direct line, so Janet will know that. So let me bring on Janet, and let's introduce her. Hi, Janet. Hi, Janet. You want to introduce yourself?
I am, I'm your co-host, Janet Kira Lessin. I'm calling in from Maui, Hawaii. I tried to call into the back end of my show, but that's not working. But we will record this, and I will then upload it as soon as we're done with today's show. I had Karen on this week, and I've had her on before, and I'm so impressed by her. And tonight, my vision is that we're going to do a panel, and the three of us will go roundtable style and talk about what's current and what's up for us, and ask each other questions. So I figured we could probably fit in about 4 questions if we're quick on this. And I thought we could focus around metaphysics, spirituality, consciousness, current events, extraterrestrials, interdimensionals, paranormal, psychic readings, mediumship, experiencers, and more. Karen has worked with experiencers, and so we've all had experiences, and she conveyed a story about her recently departed husband who contacted her after he passed. So I would suggest we just bring her on to get started because the shows go very fast.
Okay, I'm going to punch her on, and I'm going to mute Karen. Or, well, I guess I should stay at least say hi to her.
Yes, say hi.
I don't think she's been on my show. Hi, Karen. Can you hear me? We'll test you out here. Can you hear TJ? Hi.
Hi, TJ. How are you? I'm here. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. Great.
Oh,
awesome.
Wonderful. I'm in a building, so sometimes the Wi-Fi system kind of acts out, and if that were to happen, I have another phone we could switch to. So if this one sounds good, if there's an issue, just let me know, and we'll do something about it.
Okay, well, I've got and Janet, I'm using my home direct line, so you don't have to worry about me on that direct. Sometimes we have different connections, Karen, that will drop. So I'm hoping I've got the best connection to the studio in New York. Now, I used to live in Texas. I went to high school in Houston. I was in the Spinnerets there, and some of my best living with raising my children was in Houston. Can you tell me what part of Texas you were in? Because I can sense a little bit of an accent there.
I know. I try to do away with that, but it only happens when I speak Portuguese. No, I'm from Dallas, but I love Houston. I
lived in Dallas, too. I met my last husband. Yeah, Janet knows my last husband. Well, he's on the other side now, but I know we're going to talk about that. But go ahead, Karen, and then Janet will take over. She's going to help. She always has been hosting with me since the beginning of my show. But on Fridays, I sort of want her to lead, if you don't mind. I'm a very dominant alpha female. So it's nice to have another one on the show, but anyway, tell me a little more.
TJ towers over me. I mean, she just towers over. So dominant voice and a dominant looming personality. Very, very wonderful person TJ is. Well, you just mentioned, TJ, that your husband passed, and I know you had contact after he passed. I actually had contact with your husband after he passed. Your sister-in-laws had contact with him, and then your husband passed, Karen. So why don't we start first with you, and let's talk about ghosts this first half hour or so. About
crossing over.
Discarded people have crossed over. So what do you know about the other side? Yeah, what do you know about people?
Well, I've known about it since I was 13 because I lost my mother at that age. And I knew a year before she passed that she was going to die. And so I predicted it, and it happened. And then I started studying it throughout. And then I lost my husband in October of the 29th of this past 19. So what happened is that he knew that he was going to die. Well, he was in hospice, and a week before he died, we made a pact, and he told me that he would come to me and find different ways of synchronicities and signs and symbols to do it. And we were both studying this for 20 years. So this is what happened. But it was interesting because he was with hospice, and I was there with him right when he passed. And so the people came on a stretcher to take him to, we both prefer to be cremated. And when they...
Let me ask you something about him passing. You were there physically when he passed. Did you see anything? Did you see his...
Yeah, I'm going to tell you.
Okay, tell us about that.
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
But what he did while he was sick, that day he wanted to put on his Roswell T-shirt with the little ETs in front. It's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he died in that T-shirt. And we had a woman to come in who was I forgot to tell you this yesterday, Janet. She did an aura cleansing with him, with his spirit, right when he was gone. And she was in here. She's very good. Her name is Laura Sutherland. She's a minister at the Unity Church here in Dallas. And she did a beautiful performance. And then we had 2 nurses and 2 other people. So when the people arrived to get him, there was a man who was tall, maybe 6'4", and he had on a long black coat, very sweet, very quiet. And then there was a very small girl with blonde hair. She's kind of pixie-ish, very cute, with big round blue eyes. And she asked me, she said, now, I assume you're wanting the T-shirt when we fix his body for the stretcher. And I said, oh, definitely. So they got him in, and she said, do you prefer for us to cover him? Or I said, no, leave his face normal. And she looked at me. She was at the end of the stretcher. She said, are you from Roswell? And I said, no. And I said, are you? And I thought, why would I ask her that? And so she said, yes, as a matter of fact, I am. I said, you are? And all of a sudden, I looked around at Robert, and I could see his ethereal body from the waist up, raise up with a smile, not physically, but energy-wise, and he was transmitting to me through interdimensional communication at that moment with such happiness, and because he was excited about this synchronistic connection we were making. And I guess he just silently lay back down, or, this is ethereal, not physically. And she said, I said, let me ask you something. I didn't care who was in the room, how much conventionality was in there or not. I said, what about 1947 out there? She said, well, we're a part of that. I said, oh, my God, thank God. And I'm telling you.
So what do you think she meant by that?
Oh, I thought I meant that she was an ET and a hybrid.
Oh.
And that's what she was translating to me. She grabbed my 2 fingers, my index finger and my third finger of my right hand, and she said, we're going to take care of him, you know that. I said, yes, I do. And his ethereal body raised back up slightly, and there was a smile transmitting, and it excited that I got it, because they all get really excited when the people that they love make contact, get the contacts they're making, because they're still not really. And so then I said, well, my goodness. She said, oh, yes. She said, there's a bunch of us out there. I said, I thought so. She said, you know. I said, yes, I do. I said, can I walk with you to the car? And so we walked to the car, and they put him in this very low, unusually looking car. His brother was walking with me, and he said, that's a very unusual car. And I said, well, it is, but he's taken care of. And so it was released, and they proceeded forward. That was the first contact. And I've had 2 or 3 since that, because I do a lot of research, and I want the truth. I don't want to just embellish anything. And once after that, he wanted me to do a celebration of life, which was really big. I had musicians, I had concert pianists, I had a big deal, because he wanted to pick out his music, and he picked out everything right there with me. I was sitting in a chair, trying to decide what oldies but goodies we were going to get.